This one's slower than molasses. This one's just no fun. This one, it's more broke than a guy trying to rob the 7-Eleven. So let's fix it. Hello friends and fellow weirdos, I am CrashOverbite, and welcome back to more Minecraft. Alright, today I want to show you some of the craziest farms floating around the internet, starting with this one. Here we have a 2-tick clock, which updates these pistons at a 1-tick pulse, shuffling them back and forth really fast. So if I just do this, hey, that looks like something else we might recognize. Bloop. Aha. Shaky Sand. And we can do that on both sides if we really want to, but let's not for now. Because I've made a smaller version of this design, which is right here. You can use any pistons of whatever type you want. Just face an observer into whatever gap you have here. Put a repeater into one of them, and just run some redstone dust into the other one. And we're just going to use a lever to activate it. And drop some sand on there. And we'll put a cactus. And now we're cooking with gasoline. Because it's just cactus. If you want to be more diligent about collecting the blocks, what you can do is put a fence post down there with a hopper minecart kind of halfway on top of it. And put you a regular hopper here. And just for the heck of it, you can put items into this, and it will go into this hopper, even though it looks like it won't. And all you got to do to turn it off is do that. However, when you turn them off, notice they'll no longer start up and run like they were before, and you got to break this and put the sand back, which kind of sucks. But to be honest with you, that's not really all that hard. So here we have a modified version of this other farm that I made. So all we did was we extended it 1 block and we put a block in between the pistons. These are sticky pistons on this particular design, but as you can see, we still get the shake and we can still plant stuff on it and it works just fine. It's just slow for cactus because I have this one too far forward. But if you go over here, here's our clock, and we'll turn our clock on. And we'll bust the sand that was in there, the one that didn't break already. And we'll just drop some in. And we'll put some sugarcane in there. And in order to run these pistons, all we're using is an observer facing into that redstone dust with a block on top, powering this, which is also powering our pistons. Now, speaking of ridiculous ways to do something, we have this guy over here lagging out my game. Hello, lag. All your repeaters and pistons firing back and forth. This is the bottom half of a design I seen. His name was Eagle Eye 621. And my gosh, does he make a lag machine when he tries. But this thing is crazy. I'll break this stuff and it'll almost instantaneously grow back, which is nice. But I want to turn it off now. And it breaks every time you turn it off. So every time you start it up, you gotta reload it with sand. Sometimes it doesn't work on the first try when you do it. Because it's not supposed to be easy to glitch out the game, you know. But anyway, I gotta turn this off. It's giving me a headache from all the lag. The frame rate issues. Ugh. But there is a smaller design I'm using a slightly different clock here. And we're getting rid of all of these repeaters that are helping to cause the lag. So what we have here is we're just moving a piston back and forth really fast in front of this observer. We have a redstone repeater down there on one tick, line of redstone going down that way, line of redstone going down that way. And got a lever here to pick up the glass here. If you want to grow sugarcane, you want it to be down. If you want to grow cactus, you want it to be up. Because cactus will grow slower if there's a block moving over top of it. And that's very annoying. All you gotta do, start it up. See in there, we got our oscillating pistons. The reason we're lagging so bad now is because of the water updates. Huh, there's a block missing there. Interesting. And you could just kind of feed your blocks into here. You don't always have to drop them in. You can click them, and sometimes they'll work on the first try. However, once you get this thing loaded, it's pretty darn nuts. Give me a second here, and I'll show it to you. Work. There you go. Take out our sugarcane here. Close the dough. Try to get into fly mode. The reason the back glass here is missing is if you want to grow cactus with this. Cactus will not grow with that back glass there. The reason we needed this repeater here is to slow down the piston so it wouldn't actually drop its blocks and move back and forth a lot faster. Because, well, what it was doing was it was spitting out its glass block and leaving it on top of the farm here where nothing could grow. So we put a repeater on here on 2 ticks to slow it down so it picks the block back up, or doesn't spit it out. And the sugarcane can grow just as fine. And it's coming in at a really good rate. Like a really, really good rate. And if you want to swap over to cactus, done growing sugarcane, you don't have to break the farm to do it. Or you could grow both at the same time. Really doesn't matter. Come in here. You can put just some cactus down like that. You really want to make it a little bit better. Uh-oh. Didn't do what I wanted it to, did it? No, it did not. It broke the outside block. Pistons are weird. You can break stuff through pistons. It's really strange. But I need them to stop moving for all of 2 seconds. So I can bust out. This thing is going nuts still. But none of the blocks are being collected. Bust out some of this glass over the cactus here. And go for it. It won't pick up all of the cactus because cactus is kind of a strange thing to have to harvest. But it'll get most of it. I think. We're not seeing any cactus in the hoppers. Oh yeah, we are. Farms actually just are making it real hard to put all the cactus in the chests. Because it was full of sugarcane. Got to get rid of all of that sugarcane in here before to start putting the cactus in. Yeah, I guess this is kind of a moot point since we're kind of doing both at the moment. If anybody's interested, here's a 1 wide 0 tick farm that's super duper slow. Alright, before we talk about the bigger farms, we need to talk about this guy. Here we have a monostable circuit. This observer is checking this trapdoor. So when we flick the trapdoor, the observer sends a 1-tick pulse, which is cut in half by this monostable circuit, and 0 pulses this piston here, and flick it again, and it comes right back. And there's another interesting thing to note. These machines are directional. Notice if I flick this one, the exact same thing, piston does not move. Which means you can only build these farms facing east and west. If you want to know which way you're facing, check right here. If I turn right here, it says north. You want to build it this way or that away. Alright, so I broke this farm down into pieces, so maybe it'd be a little easier to figure out. But here we basically have our clock that's running the whole system. Right here in the front, we have the observer pulled out with a sticky piston. And notice it's the only observer in the whole chain. So that's pretty important, because you want to be able to turn it on and off. If you put more observers in there, you're not going to be able to turn it off. And to build our clock, we're just gonna kind of go three whatever building blocks, 3 redstone dust, 3 observers facing down, 1 facing up, and a block here. And we just need a couple pistons. And you're done. Ta-da! Now, I like this clock because there's more than one way to turn it off. Let me show you after I grab a lever. If I turn this on, notice it is off. If I flick it again, it is on. If I put a lever here and flick it, the machine also turns off. And of course, you can power it from underneath too if you really want to. Just as long as this redstone dust is at power level 15 or this block is turned off, the machine will not run. And I just broke that, didn't I? Oh, whatever. We don't need this anymore. And after you get done building your clock, put one of these on either side, just like we have here. I tried it without the trapdoors, but it seems to break every once in a while without them. So it's kind of awkward. And I have that set up here using an observer instead of the trapdoor. And it does work. For the small one anyway. And for the big one, it sometimes... I tried it on the big one, it didn't like it. Yeah, we basically still have our clock here. We have our on and off switch. And that switch also turns on our observers, which works. And you can tile it because it's 1 wide. You can use the same on and off switch because of the way it's set up. You can just run all your redstone together down here. Because of the way observers work, you don't have to worry too much about anything. And flick the lever, turn it on, and it just goes to work. And look at all of that stuff. Yep. You could probably run this thing for 10 minutes and have all these chests full. Now, this is not my design. This is a design by Eagle Eye 621. He uses a one tick clock here, and he 1-tick pulses all of these repeaters, which causes a butt ton of lag. And he was using a water stream here to transport his items. I just went ahead and put hoppers in here because look at this. It's so silly. I mean, both of these farms work on the same premise. They are just as fast as each other. Just the internal workings are a little bit different. And I tried to make one where I could do cactus, but the timings don't seem to work. Because this is a sticky piston, this is a regular piston. Only way I can get it to work. But when the sticky piston retracts, it takes the regular piston with it. And that causes a problem because I think the game registers a full airspace used. So when the sand gets pushed over, it doesn't fall to create the vibration, shaky sand. I've been trying to figure out how to get around that. I don't know. I've tried turning the farm off in different places, trying different timings in different places. It's really strange, and I'm going to let somebody smarter figure that out for me. And I managed to make sugarcane farms. I used basically the same thing, but we left a 1 wide gap for a waterlogged trapdoor so we can plant the sugarcane. And got all our nice things set up in here. Notice that with my clock, we only need a 1 tick pulse. With this clock, to activate the farm correctly, you need a 2 tick pulse going into the side with your sand. Notice the repeater's always on the side going in where the sand is at. Very important. And notice that the blocks, when the farm is off on the sand side, are down and they're up on the dirt side. There's our dirt. These are up. If I flick the switch, they both change. And it kind of functions as an OR gate to turn the farm on and off. And I forgot what else I was going to say about that, but the sugarcane farm is working great. And it's not quite as fast, but I can't have nearly as many of these chained together as I want. You know? Because of the way sugarcane is, it needs water. Now, if I could have figured out a way to put them side by side, I would have. But it just didn't really want to work. And so, if you liked it, there's a button for that. If you didn't like it, well, there's a button for that too. And if you want to see more, there's more you can check out. And have a good one.